So something is happening today that I never thought I would see in a million years, and that's tapping maple trees, and it's February 1st. I actually could have tapped a couple of days ago because it's been so warm here. It's been such a weird year. I mean, you can see we have no snow. I'm very comfortable in a sweatshirt, and I'm feeling unprepared. Usually we tap maple trees in March because you want the daytime temperatures to be above freezing and the nighttime temperatures to be below freezing. And we're there. It's going to be in the 50s this weekend, so we're doing it. And since I was totally not prepared to be tapping right away, I need to find my supplies. We don't even have our cook stove set up. Ryan's out of town this week, so we're just going to do what we can together and at least get the taps in and start collecting that sap. Okay, hopefully I can find, ooh. All right, let's go see if we can find everything. And by the way, for those of you who are interested, the solar wall is absolutely whipping. I wish Ryan was here so he could tell you the stats, but it feels really warm in here. And here is my one shelf that I'm allowed to keep my own hobbies on. Of course, Ryan has all of those for all of his hobbies, but here's my lone shelf, and I see it. It's all the way up there. And guess who's afraid of heights? Don't hit the car. Terrifying thing I've done in a while. Okay, those trees better be running. All right, I need to make sure that this is everything. I think it's everything, but could be wrong. I like panic boxed everything up when we moved in the spring. We had a 30-day closing to move our entire homestead, and we closed on our old property and our new property on the same day. So it was a little bit wild. I think this is everything. Good. Okay, so we don't need these yet. These are for when we're actually boiling down the sap. So hopefully in a couple of days, Ryan gets home and can help me set up the cook stove. That'll be a fun video, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that part. Don't need this, but these are what we want. We have lids to keep the junk out, the bugs or falling leaves, whatever. All right, let's go do this. Well, I have all of my supplies clean, so I have my collection buckets, I have my lids, we have some spiles, I have hooks to hang the bucket, we have a drill bit that's gonna fit my spile, and I have a hammer, a really pathetic hammer. I don't even know what kind of hammer this is, but it's all I could find, so it's gonna work. Let's go find those trees. is the main tree that we're going to be tapping, and I was so excited to spot it last summer because we actually don't have very many maples on our property, and definitely not big ones. So you want a tree to be at least, ideally 12 inches in diameter, minimum 8 inches, and we don't have much for that. So I was so excited to find this one. I'm not sure exactly what kind of maple it is, but we'll see what we get out of it. And this is only our second year tapping maple trees, so I'm far from being an expert, but last year went pretty well, and I'm hoping that we'll have similar success this year. And so typically you put 1 tap per tree unless they're a little bit bigger, and I'm hoping that this one is going to be big enough for 2 taps, especially since I'm limited on my trees. So if the diameter is at least 21 inches, you can put 2 taps. So let's see where we're at. I'd say that's a solid 24 inches, so let's do it. So now is the moment of truth. We drill into the tree. We're gonna go at a slight upward angle to a depth of about 2 to 2.5 inches. And so that's gonna help the sap drain out of the tree properly. We're gonna use gravity to our favor. So I already have a piece of tape on here. I'll probably go a little bit shy of that. And yeah, let's start drilling. And ideally, if you're doing 1 tap, you want to put it on the south side of a tree. But since I'm doing 2 taps, I'm going to kind of space them out, kind of southwest and southeast. We'll see how that does. It looks wet in there. That's a good sign. Oh man, I think this is my best one yet. Oh, yes, excellent. So now we're just gonna gently tap in the spile here, and then I already have the lid attached. Largely, I can't get it off. It's just kind of stuck on there. So we're just gonna do it as a unit, and remember to put our hook on there. Nice and gentle. I think we're in there, so I'm just gonna wanna watch and make sure that the sap is coming out of here and not leaking around the edge. Let's go ahead and get our bucket on there. Awesome. Oh yeah, look at that. Little drips are coming out already. Keep the lid on, keep the junk out. Now, a problem I'm encountering is the spile is in between kind of this crevice, so that wire or that rod is not allowing me to put the lid all the way in there. This is flowing so good, I don't want to redo it. I found some wire. I'm just going to try and jimmy rig it on there. I think that'll work. This flexible wire is a blessing and a curse. I think it'll work. Oh no, I just undid the whole thing. That'll work. We're calling it good. Yeah, that'll work. Look at that. I think we are looking super good here, so I'm gonna let this one hang out. Let's see how tap number 1 is doing. Yeah, we're dripping as well. Not quite as good as tap number 2, but I don't know. It's catching up. I'd say the race is on. So I'll come back out in a little bit and see how these guys are doing. I have a 3rd bucket. Let's go see if we can find another tree. Now this is an interesting one because it's multi-stemmed. I've never tapped a multi-stemmed tree, but I'm pretty limited on my options, so we're gonna give it a try. This does get some good south sun on here, so I'm hoping that the sap will run. We'll see. No sap yet, but we'll come check in a little bit. Well, it's been about 24 hours since we tapped those trees, so I thought I'd go around, check on the taps, see how much sap we have. We might be emptying buckets today. We'll see what we find. All right, so here's our first bucket, which is really nice and close to the cabin. So I'm hoping that this one is gonna produce. If you remember from yesterday, there was not anything flowing. So we'll see if maybe today is the day and it just needed a little bit more time. Completely empty. Man, I was so hoping that this tree would produce. I'm pretty new to collecting sap. This is just my second year doing it. So if you are experienced and have any input from me, I would love to hear if it's the multi-stemmed tree that's an issue, or maybe it's the variety of maple. I'm not sure, but I'll leave that on for a little bit longer. So let's go check my big tree. Are you guys my good helpers? All right, let's go find it. You show me where to go. All right, so we've made it over to my awesome tree. I'm just so thankful that we at least have one really good mature maple that seems to be producing. Let's see how we did. So we're dripping and we have maybe an inch in there. So it's flowing, but not flowing too much yet. You can generally expect 5 to 15 gallons of sap per tap for a season, and a season can last about 4 weeks. So we'll see how this one's doing. So we're dripping in also about an inch. So hopefully with another couple days of that warm weather, the tree is going to be waking up, and then we'll be able to start emptying some buckets and collecting that sap to eventually boil it down. And boiling down that sap is kind of an art because it takes 40 gallons of sap to make 1 gallon of maple syrup. So that's a lot of moisture that just needs to be evaporated out. So it's typically an outdoor activity, and some people just do it over an open fire. But of course, Ryan and I, as we always like to do, anything worth doing is worth overdoing. So last year we were able to find an antique cook stove, which is so beautiful. I love it. And it's right here in the shed. So I'll show you what it looks like. So here we are in the shed with all the goodies. Oh, it looks like it's flipped around backwards, so I can't show you the cool front piece, but that is our project coming up soon. We need to haul this out, get it all ready to go. So that means we're gonna need to put a chimney on it. So it's actually gonna be installed on our front porch. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. That's definitely going to be my next video, I think. So getting this all set up, getting the chimney built, and then starting the whole sap boiling process, which is so fun. I've been so looking forward to this. Again, it's happening way sooner than I was ready for. I totally had in my mind that we would be doing this in March, which is typical, but here we go. So I guess with that, we'll wrap up this video. We're done with the tapping. I'm just going to start collecting the sap. I can hang on to the sap for up to about 7 days, as long as the temperatures are okay. You want to treat sap like milk, so you definitely don't want to just store it in room temperature in the house. So I'll start my little collection process, and then we'll start making some syrup. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll catch you next time.